Hello and welcome to yet another installment of our Lightwell video tutorials. Today, we're going to be taking a look at another really powerful feature of Lightwell, animations. First, let's open up our project and navigate to that first scene. You can find a link to this particular project in the description below if you'd like to follow along. Once we have that scene open, we're going to look up to the top left and click the Animations tab. There are four main animation types in Lightwell: position, scale, rotation, and opacity. Position animates your asset along an X and Y axis. Scale animates your assets bigger and smaller, while rotation rotates them. Lastly, opacity controls how opaque or translucent they look over a period of time. Individually, these animation types are powerful, but when you combine them together, that's when your app starts to get really interesting. Let's start by making a position animation. We're going to make this planet slide from off-screen onto the canvas. First, we'll click the New Animation button and ensure that position is selected, which it is by default. Then we'll give it a quick name. I'm going to name this Planet Slide just to keep things simple. Then we use this drop-down to find the layer that we want to animate, and then we click Create Animation. Let's go ahead and click play to see what the default version of this animation looks like. Right now it's got a little bit of a curve, so let's start by getting rid of that by using these little dark handles. Let's also uncheck Begin at Current State. This basically means to play the animation relative to whatever its current position is, resulting in your layer gradually moving off screen, which we don't want. Next, we'll want to position our first animation slightly off the canvas so the layer is out of view when the scene starts. And to do that, what we got to do is we got to take the first keyframe and move it right on over here. Next, we got to play around a little bit with the keyframes to get the animation just right. Now that we have our planet sliding in, it's going a little too fast for my taste, so let's slow that down. To do that, we're going to look at the animation timeline below and increase the time it takes to get from point A to point B by dragging out point B, the second keyframe, which is purple, a few more seconds out. Now this moves a little bit more like how I imagine a planet should. I should also note that these values that we've been changing on the canvas and timeline, they can also be done over in the animation control panel by opening up each keyframe and changing the values there. Just for fun, let's do one more animation, this time for opacity. We're going to do just as we did before, clicking on Create New Animation. Let's give it a different name. Different affected layer, this time the text, and different animation type, which is opacity. All we're going to do this time is give the text a nice little fade in, like it's manifesting in the cosmos in front of our eyes. We're going to open up the keyframes panel on the left, like I mentioned just a few seconds ago. Let's make the first value 0% and the second value 100%. Hit play and voila, nice little text fade in. That just about scratches the surface of the animation properties in Lightwell. Try making some of your own, and while you're doing that, test out what happens when you add more than one affected layer. What happens then? How about when you group two animations together into a folder? Until next time, happy creating.